G'day guys, welcome. Today we are talking about the dumbbell shoulder press. Fantastic exercise to add some serious size to the shoulders, obviously. Probably the number one, if not number two exercise when it comes to building some serious mass through your shoulders. Probably mirrors the situation with the chest and the chest exercise, in that you probably find that your seated military press is probably your number one. You can get some really good pressing and stability from the bench, and then followed very quickly by the dumbbell chest press, or in this case, a dumbbell shoulder press. Right. Let's discuss the ins and outs of what we want to achieve when it comes to this. First things first, the setup. We want to make sure that we are on a slight tilt back. A lot of people sit directly upright. Now, what we know about sitting directly upright is actually puts us in a really bad position with our shoulders, because what we want to make sure that it achieves is that we need to be able to pull our shoulder blades back and down and open up this shoulder joint. Now, why do we want to do that? Well, if we overload firstly our anterior deltoid, we can shorten it and it rounds us off, and as such, there's a fair chance that that will lead to really poor overall shoulder development. But worse, we could possibly end up creating some pain and shearing-like effects on this shoulder joint, right? So what we want to do is, by pulling our shoulder blades back and down, we open up the shoulder joint, we allow the shoulder joint to move freely in the position that it wants to move in, and as a result of that, you're going to have a lot healthier and a lot probably stronger and better functioning shoulders than you are if you are pressing from a rounded position here and really shutting off that range of motion through the joint. So remember, our shoulder joint sits slightly forward, so we want to open it up and allow that to go through its natural range. Okay, so by having the bench back, it just simply allows us to get into that position better. If your benches don't go back and you have to do a shoulder press from a bolt upright bench, then make sure that you are pulling your shoulder blades back and down and really potentially over exaggerating that arch. Even maybe shuffle a little bit further forward on the seat so you can just wedge yourself in. We're fortunate that we don't need to do that on these benches. Okay, so let's talk about why we'd pull our shoulder blades back and down. Not only are we opening up that joint, but we're creating a stable base to press from. Very much the same as, say, a bench press, or, well, any presses for that matter. We want a stable position to press from so that we can drive as much force as we possibly can up, and obviously generate or get through as many reps as possible, and then accumulation will equal hypertrophy, hopefully. Right, so what are we looking to create when it comes to a dumbbell shoulder press? Well, we want to create 2 points of contact, possibly 3. The third is very much up to you as to where that position is, but we'll go through the first 2. So obviously the first one's the shoulder blades back and down. So we want to make sure that when we're in this position, we're pulling our shoulder blades back and down, and we're really creating a flat back and pressing from a flat back position. How do we create a flat back? Well, our shoulder blades potentially sit like this. Very big over exaggeration, but we'll go with it. Shoulder blades sit like this, and our lats insert on the base. We want to pull our shoulder blades back and down, and it will create a nice flat back for us. So our lats are actually going to bunch right up when we are doing this exercise. Okay, so we're going to go down, up, and we're going to be nice and stable through the upper portion of the back. Now, we also, with our hips, want to be driving back into the bench, so it creates 2 points. Okay, so now we are nice and flat and strong against the bench. Now, this is where the third point is up to you. I like to place my feet underneath my backside because it helps with thoracic extension to make sure I stay in this position and press from this position. Others like to have a nice flat foot and almost generate or push energy back into the bench in order to potentially create more stability by the force pushing back and then pressing from here. That there is subjective to each and every person. Use what works for you, okay? Next, how do we get the dumbbells up without actually having anyone first, but if you do have someone, we'll quickly go through that. If you have someone, make sure that they spot you from the wrists, not from the elbows, okay? If you're lifting a weight and you're pressing up through the elbows and your extenders don't quite have that load, it can go here, there, everywhere and throw your shoulders in all sorts of horrible positions and might lead to a minor shoulder tear. If that happens, then goodbye bench presses, goodbye shoulder work, and pretty much anything that you want to do upper body that isn't a retraction. That's if it's not a tear at the back. If it's a tear at the back, then there's a fair chance you might have to get rid of it all. But that's worst case scenario. So make sure you grab from the wrist. And the reason being is because obviously the load is in their hand and you're as close to the load as you possibly can. Probably don't grab the dumbbells because it's just going to put your shoulders in a really shit spot. So just grab the wrist, help them up like so. When you're at the top, don't just let them go, because what's going to happen is that they're going to go ooh, ooh, right? Because their rotator cuff muscles haven't quite got a hold of that load yet. So let go slowly and just keep your hands there so that they sort of bounce around and say, yep, yep, we're good to go. All right, what if you don't have the load, or you don't have anyone, sorry, to help you up with the load? We're going to start with the dumbbells on the ground. We're going to deadlift up and place on our knees. From this position, we're going to flick 1, 2 and go straight up nice and quickly. I actually suggest create a little bit more momentum because heavier load, harder it'll go, harder it'll be up, harder to get it up. So we're going to sit back and use our body weight momentum. 1, 2, straight up. And then from here, we can sort of rest the dumbbells if we want to, or we can go straight into our position. All right, so we're in. From here, we're going to press. Now, with your hands, we want to be on a slight 45. We don't want to be pressing at right angles. Okay, right angles will just, it's not too bad, but it will load your shoulders up immensely. And you may find that it causes a bit of pain. So I do suggest going at a 45. This will work with that range in which our normal shoulder joint, that shoulder joint wants to work within. If you go right angles, that's fine, provided there's no pain. If you're experiencing a little bit of pain, then just simply turn your wrist to the 45. I suggest just go straight to the 45 because it'll just promote really good shoulder health over a long period of time. So again, up, shoulder blades back and down, press for them 45. You can even go to a neutral if you really want to and press them here, that's fine. Especially if you do have shoulder issues, so you can go to a neutral, but a nice 45 down, press. Now a lot of people are afraid to go all the way down. I think take your shoulders through the full range of motion. That's what they're designed to go through. A lot of people go, you can go your elbows just below your armpits, that's fine. But if you have the stability and you have the tension through the muscle, then by all means come all the way down, press all the way up, down, up. Now, when it comes to finishing, I'm looking to finish just on the outside line of my shoulders rather than being all the way in here. In here, my shoulders switch off, okay? Or your shoulders might switch off because of where the direction of the dumbbell is. So it's very much through your traps, whereas where out here is very much still through the line of your shoulders because the weight is outside the line of your body. So your shoulders really have to work hard here. So we're going to finish here, come down to just outside the line of your shoulders and keep pressing. And that will keep the tension through your shoulders and they should blow right up. Oh, fuck, come on out right now. That there, team, is how you want to go about executing your dumbbell shoulder press.